Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Unscripted Coding. Today I have my iPad with me, I have an Apple Pencil, and we have Adobe Illustrator right on your front screen. What that means is we're going to be doing just a tiny bit of art today, and we're going to play around with vector graphics. Now, we've done this before. We've played around with vectors in Clip Studio way back in our Christmas video. Today, it's just about to tick over to the long Easter weekend, and I figure we're going to draw some eggs. We're going to export out the vector files, and we're going to put them onto a web page. Now, there's a rhyme and reason to everything, but let's just first go over what vectors are. Vectors are a different type of image where you are asking the computer to figure out the paths, the thickness, the lines, basically calculate out your image rather than look at it pixel by pixel. And what that means is if I draw a nice simple line like this, you can zoom in over and over, and you still have a very, very crisp dividing edge right here. Oops. You have a very crisp edge, and that's because all the computer understands is there is a path going across the screen here. We've zoomed in 510 times, and you still have that very crisp edge. Now, if you were doing this pixel by pixel, so think Photoshop, think Microsoft Paint, by the time you zoom in that much, you should start seeing the individual pixels. There's one pixel that's blue, black, and you start seeing the jagged edges. We can keep zooming, and you will still see that very crisp edge. So, and you can see this is where the computer understands there's a path going through here. This is how wide it should be. If you zoom in, let's recalculate and figure it out. And so that's what vectors are. Now, why this is really important is because vectors aren't good for everything. If you're trying to draw, say, the Mona Lisa, I'm sure you can do it in vectors, but it makes a lot more sense to use Photoshop. You get to control all of these tools, and if you look at the screen right here, Illustrator has very few brushes for you. You don't have a paintbrush brush, spray paint, markers, whatever. And that's because all of those effects are difficult to achieve. How do you make it easy for a computer to understand all of that? So you get limited tools, but vectors are great for cartoons. If you're doing cartoons, if you're doing kind of older style animation, but they're also great for website graphics. Think about a logo. Today we have these minimalist logos. There's not a whole lot of gradients or characters in there. It's usually just a letter or a word, very fancy kind of design around it, but fairly minimalist. And what that means is you want to use vectors. They're really great if you're just filling in solid colors, nice sharp lines. Logos are perfect for that. So the reason why I think this is an important lesson is because I didn't learn it until very much later. Way back when I did my first website, I have these massive files because I wanted people to be able to zoom into my images, so my logos, and still see those sharp, crisp lines. Now, I didn't understand vector graphics. I didn't understand that this was a thing. And so the solution was, let's get a 10,000, 40,000 by 40,000 pixel image. And so it's massive, and then you shrink it down so that when people zoom in, they'll see sharp lines for a while. They'll keep zooming, and eventually they will see the pixels, but nobody realistically is going to see that. Now, that is a terrible way to go about it. So what we want to do today is just draw something really simple, show you guys how small a vector graphics file can be, and just export it right into a web page. I did mention it's Easter weekend for me, so I figure I'm just going to draw an Easter egg. It's going to be very simple. It's going to be quite literally an Easter egg, not some sort of secret or bonus. It's going to be an actual Easter egg. And we're just going to put it up on JS Fiddle and show you guys how that would look. So I'm going to get drawing. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. I was doing this on my iPad, just coloring it in. It doesn't have to look great. This is obviously not the most elaborate Easter egg, but it's kind of fun to just start drawing lines, coloring things in. It's very relaxing. But where we want to go from here is how to turn this into something useful. So I don't expect a whole lot of you to do Easter eggs, but if we did a logo, I don't know, something like an A or a B or, with a background solid color is actually extremely simple here. And then once you do, you just save as, we'll call it Easter. Save as an SVG, and I can't remember what that stands for, but something vector graphics. Scalable? Save. And when you do, you get this pop-up. And so you can change the version, but we're going to get the SVG code. And this is where it's going to be really interesting, because you can copy this and use it on a web page. So I'm just going to put this up on JS Fiddle, and you paste it into the HTML section. You run the page and see. You can see the image. And so you can start putting this in divs and spans and so on so that you get the right div. Just cut this out and put it over here. And basically what it is it's a scalable image. So for example, if we wanted to, we can start styling that div. Let's say width is 100 pixels. And look, it's tiny now. Whatever is in that div gets scaled all the way down, and we can change that to 10 pixels. It's a tiny little piece right here, or 500 pixels. Okay, and then you can continue adding to that. Let's say we want a background color blue. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I think the background is actually set to white because in our Illustrator file, we have this kind of white background. So you want to make sure that's transparent, or you have to do whatever you do with it. But you can start embedding this into your website. Look at how clean that is. It's not a lot of space. This is just a bunch of text. It actually came out longer than I thought it would. But collapse that down. You don't need an image file. You don't need to handle your links. You can embed it right into your HTML. And so if we were to put something above this, hello world, and something below it, goodbye world. Oh, okay, so we did have the background color. Very good. Hello world, goodbye world, and you could start making all these sorts of changes that are meaningful as well. So if you were to put this in Bootstrap, you can take this image, shove it into your footer or your header, and make it appear as a logo. We can set this so that the height, we can stretch this. So let's say the height is tiny, but the width is still 500 pieces. What have I done here? Oh, what happened here? Let's just take this back. Div. Okay, whatever, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But the entire idea is this will behave like a standard image. And so you can stretch, you can compress it. You can do just about anything you normally do with, say, a JPEG or a PNG file, and you can embed the entire piece over here. And so, I think it's Brex. Yeah, Brex is this random startup, but I was looking at their website, and if you look right into their logo, this little piece right here, it is an SVG file. So you can go edit as HTML, take their SVG, and then just replace what we did with it. And there you have it. You have their logo. Oh, they even have their text right in their logo. And they have something much more compact. Not a ton of colors, not a ton of things happening, but you can keep zooming this in. So if we remove this, put this as 920, I hope this works. See, this looks a lot bigger, and we can increase it by another factor of 10. And look at how sharp those lines are. Okay, let's go back to our file here. Take this out. And take this out. And we have our beautiful Easter egg right here. I hope you enjoyed this, because Illustrator, drawing isn't exactly my strong suit, but Illustrator is a ton of fun once you get into it. I struggled a little bit with the brushes. It's a little bit different from Photoshop, so I was trying to find out where's the paint bucket, where's all of these pieces. But once you do, it's just another Adobe piece of software. So if you have, say, a student account, it's really good to learn those skills. That will come in a lot of handy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more kind of artsy videos rather than just pure coding, definitely leave a comment. I'm not sure how you guys are taking this, but I find this critically important as well. You can have a really awesome piece of software, but if it looks really unappealing, not a whole lot of people are going to use it. So the unfortunate fact is, if you're trying to build something awesome, you either need a great team of people doing a lot of doing all sorts of things, or you need to learn a little bit of everything. So you cannot just completely abandon one area. And so art is often one area I see people completely ignoring, me included. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, please thumbs up or subscribe or leave a comment. I read all of the comments, and I do reply to most of them if addressed to me. So thanks for watching. See you later.